Hi everyone. Today we're gonna have something different in our class. We're gonna call class discussion because I have been reading your answers at the end of each chapter, and I noticed in chapter 2 there's many students asking the same questions. They talk about questions 11, 13, 14, and all then are related to subsolar point. So I think the subsolar point was not quite clear, and I was looking a way to explain, and of course there's a lot of stuff on the internet. So I'm gonna play this short video for you guys and I hope help you to understand how the subsolar point works and the seasons also works. And after, I'm gonna have another discussion at below that. So leave your thoughts if you is still not clear, and I can maybe go over that. All right, so let's see what this guy has to talk to us.
Hawaii, shadows completely disappear. Objects take on a photoshopped look as they sit completely illuminated with no shadows indicating the source of light. This phenomenon is known as LAHAINA noon. Hawaii is the only U.S. state where this bizarre event can be observed, but at some place on the Earth, this event is always taking place. This place is correlated to a principle called the subsolar point. The subsolar point is the exact location on any given planet where the sun appears to be directly overhead, and thus the sun's rays hit the surface at exactly 90 degrees. This causes the shadows from the emitted light to fall directly below an object. The subsolar point on the Earth moves westward as the Earth rotates, traveling between the Tropic of Cancer at 23.43693 degrees north of the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn at 23.43693 degrees south of the equator, meaning that only locations within these bounds will experience the phenomenon. Both the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn actually get their definition from the location of the subsolar point at the time of the summer and winter solstice. The Tropic of Cancer is marked by the parallel of the subsolar point during the summer solstice, and the Tropic of Capricorn by the subsolar point location during the winter solstice. Because the point stays strictly between these two bounds, Hawaii is the only U.S. state where you can observe this event, and even then, it only happens twice a year. As for when it happens, it's usually sometime around each solstice, more specifically between the times of 12:16 to 12:43 p.m. during the day, sometime in the months of May through July. This variance all has to do with the changing location of the Earth around the Sun and the movement of other celestial bodies. You can actually track the exact location of the subsolar point at any given time using various online tracking tools. If you do happen to live within these boundaries, you can even use some tools to find out exactly when the subsolar point will cross over your exact location. The name of LAHAINA noon actually was chosen by the Bishop Museum in Hawaii in the 1990s. The term is quite popular locally, but the rest of the world simply refers to the phenomenon as the time of zenith. Part of what makes this phenomenon so popular and puzzling is the effect it has on shadows. Our brains have developed an understanding of shadows and how to interpret them. When they disappear, our brains start thinking that there is something wrong with our visual input, causing normal objects to look like they're floating or photoshopped in the real world. This confusion in our brain is largely due to the fact that shadows help us understand relative size as well as process depth. When there is no variance in lighting across a plane or landscape, it starts to look fake and more like a bad Photoshop job. So, each day, the subsolar point tracks westward across the Earth, moving north and south between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And at this subsolar point, shadows disappear completely, resulting in a perplexing phenomenon. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our videos, you can click